It was during the first nights of the Savage Moon when General Martian of the Firstborn Repulsor Knights received troubling intelligence from his scouts. In the desolate outskirts of Blackblood village, hidden among ancient ruins and rotting palm groves, something had been discovered, an artifact of unknown origin, a relic whispered about by the chronomancers of the Eighth Tower. They believed it held fragments of lost power from an older age, a time when the world itself trembled beneath darker forces. The chronomancers demanded it. Martian did not question the order. Under the cold and watchful light of the savage moon, he gathered his warriors. No banners were raised, no horns sounded. This was not a campaign of glory, but a silent march into hostile lands where few loyal to the Firstborn dared travel. Within days, the force departed, moving through the night like shadows across the desert. The journey lasted nearly 2 weeks. Sandstorms clawed at their armor, and the heat of the day drained the strength from men and horses alike. Still they marched, for Martian knew that if the Orc war bands found the relic first, it would never be recovered. Along the road, his army grew. A full squad of hardened Firstborn swordsmen joined the expedition, grim veterans who had survived more battles than they cared to remember. With them came a detachment of Firstborn longbowmen, whose arrows had ended countless lives from the darkness. As the column passed through a remote garrison, a squad of Iron Guard pledged themselves to Martian's command. Their armor was heavy, their shields scarred by war, but their discipline was unbreakable. Soon after, 3 cavalry knights rode in to join the force, their war horses restless and eager for blood. Yet the most unsettling arrival came just as the army crossed beyond the last border of the Firstborn kingdom. A judge appeared, clad in dark robes marked with the sigils of grim authority. He rode alone through the dust and joined the marching column without ceremony. In private, he handed Martian a sealed order bearing the mark of the judges themselves. Within it was a command that could not be ignored. A troll guarded Blackblood village. It was to be slain. The judge would ensure the order was carried out. After days of relentless marching, Martian's force finally reached the cursed settlement. Blackblood village lay before them, half buried in sand and surrounded by twisted palm trees that creaked like bones in the dry wind. The buildings were low and crumbling, their walls stained by years of violence. Their arrival had not gone unnoticed. Villagers fled into the dunes in terror, their screams carried away by the wind. Some ran to warn the Orc warbands that guarded the region. Others simply ran, hoping distance alone might spare their lives. Martian did not pursue them. His mission was clear. The center of the village had to be taken and held long enough to locate the relic hidden somewhere among the ruins. At the same time, the troll guarding the place had to die. The Firstborn took their positions. On the left flank, a cavalry knight prepared to strike, supported by a full squad of Firstborn swordsmen moving carefully between the buildings. In the center, the longbowmen climbed onto the roof of a battered structure to claim a vantage point over the village. Before them stood the judge and Martian himself, clad in the heavy armor of the Repulsor Knights. On the right flank, the Iron Guard formed a defensive line beside the objective, their shields locked and their weapons ready. Then the enemy revealed themselves. Across the rooftops appeared Orc archers, their yellow eyes gleaming with cruel anticipation. Near them gathered a full squad of Orc swordsmen, howling their war cries into the desert wind. Beneath the buildings, another group of archers moved into position, preparing to trap the Firstborn in a storm of arrows. Then the ground trembled. From the heart of the Orc formation emerged the troll. It was a towering brute, its scarred flesh covered in crude armor plates. In its 4 hands it carried massive falchions stained dark from old battles. Behind the monster came an orc alchemist clutching satchels filled with burning chemicals, and beside him strode Muhar Zohal and yet another squad of orc swordsmen eager for slaughter. For a moment the battlefield fell silent. Then the orcs struck first. Arrows screamed through the air. The first volley tore into the Firstborn ranks with brutal efficiency. 2 swordsmen collapsed immediately, their armor pierced by crude but deadly shafts. 1 cavalry knight fell from his saddle. Even the judge was struck down, his dark robes spreading across the dust like spilled ink. The orcs suffered no losses. The longbowmen were still too far to answer the attack, and their captain ordered them to descend from the rooftop and reposition. Across the village, the Firstborn forces advanced carefully, seeking cover among the buildings. The cavalry knights disappeared behind a crumbling wall to avoid the deadly rain of arrows. On the right flank, the Iron Guard secured ground near the objective, forming a defensive wall of iron and discipline. And in the center, Martian advanced. The Repulsar Knight moved toward the troll, toward his secret mission. Suddenly, the battle erupted into chaos. The cavalry knights burst from cover and launched a devastating charge into the orc swordsmen. Horses thundered across the sand, steel crashed against crude blades, and the orc line shattered beneath the violent impact. Bodies fell beneath hooves and swords alike. Arrows flew in both directions as longbowmen and orc archers exchanged deadly volleys, but the most brutal struggle unfolded at the heart of the battlefield. There, Martian faced the troll. The creature roared and swung its falchions with monstrous strength. Martian met the blows with disciplined fury, his blade striking sparks from the beast's iron weapons. Each clash echoed across the ruined village like the ringing of a funeral bell. The troll was not alone. Orc swordsmen rushed forward to aid their monstrous guardian, while the orc alchemist hurled blazing firebombs towards the Iron Guard. Explosions scattered flame and smoke across the battlefield. The Iron Guard advanced to aid their general, though some remained behind to hold the objective at all costs. The battle dragged on in a brutal exchange of steel and blood. Men died, orcs died, the sand drank it all. At last the troll faltered. With a final, merciless strike, Martian drove his blade deep into the creature's chest. The monster staggered, roared in agony, and collapsed into the dust with a thunderous crash. The troll was dead, and with its death, the orc's courage broke. Across the battlefield, the remaining warbands began to flee. On the far flank, the cavalry knights rode down the retreating swordsmen, trampling them beneath iron-shod hooves. At the same time, the Firstborn swordsmen stormed and butchered the remaining orc archers. What had begun as a desperate battle turned into ruthless slaughter. But victory came with a price. Before vanishing into the desert, the surviving orc archers loosed one final storm of arrows. The last of the cavalry knights fell beneath the volley before the enemy disappeared into the dunes. They would return. Blackblood orcs always did. But for now, the battlefield belonged to the Firstborn, and among the ruins of Blackblood village, beneath the shadow of the savage moon and surrounded by the dead, Martian's men began searching the broken settlement. Somewhere in the ruins, buried beneath blood and dust, waited the relic destined for the chronomancers of the 8th Tower, and when it was found, the surviving warriors of the Firstborn would carry it home through the same unforgiving desert that had already claimed so many lives.